Good afternoon. I'm Krogan Kurt Peterson. I'm an educator at Delft Technical High School and also the head for life orientation.
I'm Ure Hendrickson. I'm a former life orientation subject advisor, and currently I do training for teachers and parents and pre-service teachers as well.
I'm Terry Sylvester, former teacher trainer for life orientation. I also now work as the faculty psychologist at the Faculty of Education at UWC, and I am very passionate about the topic we're about to discuss. The position of CSE in the Western Cape is not very well distributed. The reason being that many parents are opposed to it and many schools. And also schools from a religious perspective feel that it's totally taboo. And I think the answer to that is that they do not have an understanding of the content, and therefore they have these excuses of not wanting to, or saying that we're not allowing our children to be exposed to it because of not knowing the actual purpose behind what we're trying to achieve.
When the implementation of the CSE started, I think it started out in 2015 with rollout. There was lots of the media had lots of negativity around it, which obviously influenced the school and parents accepting this new educational process and sharing vital information with their children. Like Tony said, parents and the broader community don't know the essence of the scripted lessons. And one thing I want to say, it was looked at age appropriateness for a particular learner within their development, so that needs to be shared more. SGBs were roped in, but also because it's parents, not all of them were open to accept this new topics that needs to be taught to our children. Some schools, like my school, had it a bit easier, but then there's other schools that even a few years down the line is still struggling. So I think that people just need to be more open-minded, more acceptant, and really go into reading what it is all about, and not just follow whatever is being posted through social media and someone else's lens, and really look at the content for yourself and see how applicable it is to your child within the child's growing stages.
I think it's very difficult to, in general, to respond to teachers with regard to these challenges that they have. And it starts with their own understanding of sexuality. And I think that is where we have the difficulty and the challenges with all of these things that we have at the school. Because it starts with the teacher understanding the script, the lesson plans, and what it is about. And if the misunderstanding starts with that teacher, it boils down to the parents and the learners as well. And with that, a lot of myths are created amongst teachers and learners and parents because of sexuality education. For example, if learners are exposed to this information, then learners will start experimenting and not thinking of learners will be informed to make informed decisions. There will be less risk behaviors, etc., etc. So I think it's very difficult to respond to teachers, but I think we should actually start with engaging with teachers with their own, if I can say, being uncomfortable with these topics and these issues so that they can start teaching the content in a proper way to the learners as we wish them to, as what the curriculum is expected them to do.
My understanding of CSE would be to prepare the child with knowledge, values, and skills so that they can make informed decisions about sexuality and sex.
Yeah, I agree completely with what Tony said. I agree that is completely what sexuality is, about the informed decisions that learners can make, but also for them to start understanding their identity, where they are at, but also with this knowledge and skills that they learn from the school and from the curriculum.
Comprehensive Sexuality Education is sharing truthful information to our learners. It's developing them or having them acquired with the knowledge to make proper decisions. to know where to go for assistance, because it's not only a classroom thing. It involves our clinics, our psychologists, our broader community that has to do with our development as individuals. So to me, sexuality education involves all of us, even if we don't want to embrace it, it does involve all of us.
First of all, I would say that CSE is vitally important because we don't only look at the personality of the child, we look at how that child develops, the motivation behind it, the child's emotional development. So it's an holistic development, but within a sexual component of the curriculum, which is vitally important for the well-being of that individual as well. And what is happening now, if I look at what's happening with young people, with adolescents, the anxiety levels are so high, and these are all things they learn from social media and also being exposed to sexual things that they're not familiar with, and how do I deal with it? So they're not only sitting with fear, but also with ignorance, and this is how they get into trouble. And if you look at our pregnancy rate, with teenage pregnancy rate within South Africa, it's astronomical. So this is also why I think it's an important component that we should have it in schools.
At with CSE, we touch on many topics that parents do not want to discuss on the couch within their households. Parents, we have very young parents nowadays, they don't have those open discussions with their children around relationships, for example, so around puberty and developing. And that is what CSE allows within the classroom to address those matters, also creating that platform for learners to actually ask questions around themselves, around their development. When it comes to gender-based violence and other projects that we do within the CSE program, it gives that learners more insight, so it really assists with them also being able to identify what is really happening around them. Because many of them go through these processes and they don't know who to talk to, where to go for assistance. So that is what the CSE lessons intend to do. It intends to open up doors for communication and also for learners to know where to reach out to when they find themselves in a particular situation.
When I started at UWC a few years into it, the pregnancy rate was extremely high amongst first and second year students. And I took it upon myself to be very open and blunt in my classrooms, where I actually started saying to them, guys, this is not what we should be doing. You should take ownership of your own body. You should take ownership of your reproductive health. And many of them were young girls who came straight from school into university and they were pregnant. And it was even mentioned by one of my colleagues at a sort of one-day seminar that when I started speaking openly to them, to the entire class, male and female, 3 years down the line, the teenage pregnancy dropped. So this is why I feel the impact, if you're open and honest and tell learners what they need to know, we can stop the surge of teenage pregnancies or the transmission of STIs or HIV. I mean, I had 3 students that I counseled the other day who are now, first time, they're HIV positive. But if they had known the stuff that we teach in CSE, they might not have fallen prey to this.
I think, first and foremost, I think parents should have discussions with each other, amongst each other, about their fears and why they are not comfortable with talking about CSE topics, first of all, and community members as well. We get a lot of challenges at the schools that teachers have, where they give the information at the institutions, at your schools. Learners are informed about these things, but now they want to go, for example, to your clinic, and then they are afraid of going to the clinic because there's this auntie that stays down the street, and they are fearful of that person telling somebody else in the community. So I think it's important for us to understand also, our community is also just people who grew up with certain values and norms, and for them to be able to understand and to be able to give the knowledge, skills and values to these children, there should be platforms created for them to have open discussions about why it's necessary for these learners and for these children to be informed about these knowledge, skills and values, because an understanding, we will have less risky behaviors, and we will have more informed learners and young people to make more informed decisions if we treat them more with respect and also give them more knowledge and skills to be able to deal with these difficult topics. So I would say if we could maybe involve our parents and community members more with open discussions around these topics, it would really help.
I think from my perspective, I tell my teachers that they should be the informers. So first of all, if I'm in grade R, the parents are they're open to come and look at what I'm going to share the content. I also inform the parents as from Monday, we will be doing sexuality education. This is the syllabus for grade 7. You can have a look at it. If there's anything that you're not happy with, you can come and discuss it with me or whatever. So there's got to be a collaborative approach so that the parent understands what is going to be shared, how it's going to be shared, but also open your classroom. Should you wish to come and sit in and see how we do it, you are most welcome to.
I just want to say that it's important to start with oneself. You really touched on values and morals and how we were also raised as individuals, as parents, as teachers. We come into a space with what we have been taught, and it's important for us to use that because that is basically our roots that we can use as examples, but also allow for openness. I think with the generation that we are working with today, they are more of the social media type of generation, which can be very tricky and also very scary because not always the truth and the correct information is shared via social media. Hence, our teenagers end up making the wrong decision. So it starts with each one of us. Let's look at our own morals and values. Let's model positivity to our children and also then in turn share the correct information and not turn a blind eye or block out when your child wants to discuss a certain topic, because you do have the capability, you have been through experiences yourself as adults, so you can assist your child to walk their path as well.
I think it's difficult to just name one specific place or places that parents and teachers can reach out to because it's very contextualized, if I can say that. So it's important that there's collaboration with teachers and parents and community members because your help will come from the community. And you can reach out, and I think it's important for teachers and parents to reach out to your health professionals and also to the teachers that, especially your life orientation teachers, but teachers in general at the school who coordinates the CSE component of the school, and they would be able to refer you to the best people to assist you within your community, because all communities have different people that will be able to assist with the specific topics.